Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Shikha Sambarkar and today our topic is computer network. This topic is very much useful for class 12th students who have opted the subject computer science or informatics practices as an optional subject, and for all other students also, those who are interested in computer network field. So let's start the topic. Before starting the topic, first we should know what's the meaning of network. In general, a group or system of interconnected people or things. We can say interconnected means those who are connected with each other. Uh, those who are connected with each other, for example, social networking sites, your Facebook, WhatsApp. Here, people are connected with each other for sharing information, to share knowledge, and for social contacts also. So this is like a network in general. Now here Mr. Andrew S. Tannenbaum defines a network as an interconnected collection of autonomous computers. It is very important here, an interconnected collection of autonomous computers. Autonomous. Autonomous means we can say a separate thing, governing by itself. Governing by itself means which has it has his own rules. It can be a autonomous organization or anything else. It means it has its own rules governing by himself or herself. That is autonomous. So an interconnected collection of autonomous computers. It is defined by Mr. Tannenbaum, and Andrew Stuart Tannenbaum, born on March 16, 1944, is a Dutch-American computer scientist and professor of computer science in Netherlands. So, here, computer network. Computer network, as Mr. Tannenbaum said, it's a network is a interconnected collection of autonomous computers. And here suppose two computers are said to be interconnected if they are capable of exchanging information. Two computers, or we can say two systems. Suppose you are connecting your mobile with your laptop, or you are connecting two systems. It means they are interconnected, but the condition is they should be they should be able, so they should be capable to exchange the information. If two systems are interconnected and capable to exchange the information, they are capable to share the data, then we can say they are in a network. Central to this definition is the fact that the computers are autonomous. The term is autonomous means they are governing by themselves, they have their own rules. This means that no computer on the network can start, stop, or control another. It means if two systems are connected with each other, then it doesn't mean that one system will stop the another or control the another system. If you are using your mobile, I am using my mobile, and we both are interconnected, it doesn't mean that I can stop your mobile or I can control your mobile. So it means this is the meaning of network, computer network. Computer network means collection of autonomous computers. It's a interconnected collection of autonomous computers. This is the definition. You can imagine like that there is a lab or an internet cafe, and there are 10 systems and connected with each other. It means they are interconnected with each other. So they are in a network, in a particular network. So this is computer network. So next is need for networking or network goals, we can say. So as we understood the meaning of network, network means interconnected collection of autonomous computers. Now what's the need? Why it is required? So there are 4 points. First is resource sharing, there second is reliability, third is cost factor, and fourth is communication medium. First is resource sharing. Resource sharing means what? What's the meaning of resource? Resource, we can say any peripheral device which is connected with your system. Just like if you have an internet cafe and there are 10 systems and one printer is available there, it means that one printer, you can attach that one printer, you can share that one printer with all that 10 systems. So that printer is working like your resource. So the resource, you can, there is no need to purchase 10 printers for all that 10 systems. It means resource sharing, we can do resource sharing if the systems are interconnected. So this is beneficial. Second is reliability. Suppose in a network there are 2-3 systems have same data, same files, and one of them because of any incident, the system is not available or crashed or destroyed, then we can use the data or file which is available in another system. So this is the reliability. We cannot lost our data. Then third is cost factor. Cost factor, if you have 10 systems in your lab or in any organization, or we can say an internet cafe, then if you have 10 systems and you are using only one printer or scanner, it means you are saving your money, because you are not purchasing 10 printer for all that 10 system, you are purchasing only one printer and you are saving your money. So economically it is very beneficial. Then fourth is communication medium. If the systems are interconnected and they are capable to communicate with each other, it means they are transferring data file. So it is very important if you are capable to communicate with each other in a network. So these are the 4 points. I hope you understand it better. Now, evolution of networking. Evolution of networking means, we can say, development of networking, how it is started, what was the origin, like that. So there are three things: ARPANET, NSFNet, and then internet. So these are the three terms we will see here. First one is ARPANET. The seeds of today's internet were planted in 1969. uh, in 1969, ARPANET was introduced when US Department of Defense sponsored a project named ARPANET. US Department of Defense sponsored this project ARPANET, and the full form of this ARPANET is Advanced Research Projects Agency Network. Please note this point. ARPANET means Advanced Research Projects Agency Network, and the goal of this project was to connect computers at different universities and US defense. The goal of this is to connect computers of universities and US defense, and they connected successfully. They were capable to message each other, to share the information, to chat, and to play games also. So it was the first kind of net, ARPANET. Then NSFNet. After the ARPANET, NSFNet was introduced in mid 80s. Another federal agency, the National Science Foundation, created a new high capacity network called NSFNet, which was more capable than ARPANET. Definitely it was more advanced than ARPANET. NSFNet was more advanced than ARPANET. We can say it's updated form of ARPANET, or some kind of version of ARPANET. We can say version or updated form means yeah, which has some new changes, some new things. Now, NSFNet allowed only the academic research on its network. The feature was that NSFNet allowed only the academic research, no any private work. Here NSFNet allowed only the academic research on its network and not any kind of private business on it. So it was the NSFNet. Please note down the full form of NSF, that is National Science Foundation. Now Internet. So many private companies built their own networks which were later interconnected along with ARPANET and NSFNet to form Internet. Uh, Previously, we see uh, that NSFNet allowed the network only for academic research, no any private work. That's why the private companies build their own networks. So after ARPANET and NSFNet, there were so many private companies or private networks. Then altogether these things is ARPANET, NSFNet and all private networks built a complete or combination network that is called Internet. It was the inner networking, that is the linking of these two and some other networks, that is ARPANET, NSFNet and some other, that was named Internet. In 1990s, the internetworking of ARPANET, NSFNet and other private networks resulted into Internet. Now Internet. The Internet is a worldwide network of computer networks. We can say Internet is a network of networks. Worldwide network. Because it's a combination of all the networks. Internet is a super network. It connects many smaller networks together and allows all the computers to exchange information with each other. To accomplish this, to accomplish this means this work, to exchange information and all. To accomplish this, all the computers on the internet have to use a common set of rules for communication. Those rules are called protocols. Protocols, we can say set of rules, or we can say a kind of software which is used on internet for the communication. There is a word TCP/IP. TCP/IP, we can say it's a protocol. And internet uses a set of protocols called TCP/IP. TCP, transmission control protocol, and IP means internet protocol. TCP, first we will see TCP. TCP, it's a part responsible for dividing the file or message into packets on the source computer. Packets we can say like a part, or we can say piece of a message. So here TCP is responsible for dividing a file or message into a part or piece on the source computer. Source and destination, there are two words. Source means the system which is used to send the message or file, and destination which is used to receive the file or message. So here TCP is responsible for dividing the file or message into packets on the source computer, and it is also responsible for reassembling, rearranging that message or file at the destination or recipient computer. So this is the work of TCP, Transmission Control Protocol. Now IP, Internet Protocol. Internet protocol, it's a part responsible for handling the address of destination computer so that each packet is routed or sent to its proper destination. Suppose I am sending a message to you, and I am my system is source, and your system is destination. So it should be there should be a surety that the message should be there on your system only after sending, not it should not be in any other, it should not be send to any other person. I want to send it to you only, then there should be a surety, then it will be delivered on your system, on your mobile or whatever device you are using. So this type of surety is possible because of internet protocol. Protocol means set of rules. IP, it's a part of TCP/IP, and it is responsible for handling the address of destination. If I have a source, if I am I have a source system and you have a destination system, it means it will ensure that the whatever message or file I am sending, it should be received by you only, not it will not be delivered on any other system. So this work is done by IP. So this is TCP and IP, and IP is responsible for the safe sending of any kind of message at the particular address. I hope this video is helpful for you all. Thank you. Thank you all of you. Please like, share, comment and subscribe. And please check the description box. There is a link for quiz based on this video. Please perform that quiz. Thank you again. Thank you.